All right, I am late.
Steven, you are
Busy
late.
day. Busy day. Matt, how does it feel to get into beef with Cassandra?
It's a interesting time today, Steven. I was not expecting to wake up and one be blocked. Well, I guess I went to sleep knowing I was blocked, but yeah, I was not expecting to be blocked, and here we are. You know, I'm all about if you have a common um, disagreement among stocks and things like that to really have a common discourse and understand. Right? I before yesterday really actually kind of believed that um, Burry was a smart guy, and now I don't disbelieve that he's not smart. I mean, I'm not saying he's not, but what he's doing, you know, is kind of just against what I'm about. Like I'm all about having common discourse and understanding and trying to get to the bottom of things. But it seems like this individual is just not wanting to do so and just block happy for anybody that has an opposing thought. Um, Maybe I went a little bit too hard, you know, saying I was going
Well,
to have a neurology Substack, but
we're going to get into it.
okay.
But first, please understand we're not investment professionals, unlike others. We're just two guys with opinions. Everything we say are our own opinions. We have no idea what your financial situation is, so please do your own due diligence. And with that being said, please read the disclaimer. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. And Matt, let's get into it.
Yeah, first and foremost, before people ask, I'm wearing these glasses and trying something different. So they're blue
Blue
reflective
light.
glasses. Yeah, blue light. So I don't know if it'll help. Maybe it won't. I actually didn't think that these were going to be so orange. I was hoping it was going to be like a tint of orange, not like, but it looks like I'm in a back room playing poker or something. So we'll see. This may persist. It might not.
All right. All right. So you're you're going to become a neurologist. You're going to write a paper on neurology.
Heard it here first.
And I guess I'm going to help you. You're going to quote me in it.
Yes.
Okay. So how do we get a hold of the paper? Because I know Amir and I know Arnie read the paper. They responded. I didn't want to read their responses because I really want to formulate my own opinion, but I can't do that without reading the paper. And one of the problems I have with this whole situation, everything I put out for free. Like I'm not charging anybody. Everybody sees my 2 or 3,000 word dissertations, you could call them, or long ass rants on X. I'm not putting them behind a paywall. And I honestly would like to read his opinion. And I think it's a little unfair that he comes out with this big statement, but it's behind a paywall of $349 or whatever it is. Like, I'm not paying you, and it's not about the money, it's about the principle. I'm not paying you $349 to read your opinion on one thing. I mean, you are a billionaire. You don't need to put a paywall on your Substack. Freaking, you want to have an intelligent conversation with people, put it out there and let people who follow the stock engage with you. Don't block them.
I have a I respect your thought. I am on the opinion if the guy wants to have a paywall, he can have a paywall. I'm okay. People that have Substacks and want to create Substacks and put their due diligence behind, I get it because sometimes this stuff takes a lot of time. My problem with this whole thing is not Burry having a disagreement upon Palantir or anything like that. It's the thing that I have a disagreement with is me having pushback and trying to understand where he's coming from. And the immediate thought is, let me block this guy because he's not having this discourse in my Substack comment section. He's having it in public. And this doesn't help my Substack. I think he's taking a very short term approach. If he honestly wants his Substack to be extremely successful, I think he's taking a very short term approach and that he should offer some context as to, hey, there's this great opportunity in an article. The fact that he's immediately blocking anybody who is trying to have a discourse with him on X instead of on Substack is where I have the problem. You want to have a Substack, you want to charge people, that's perfectly fine with me. I never made fun of Burry for that. In fact, I've respected the guy in the past. I don't always agree with everything he said in the past, but his actions have made me lose all respect for him in this particular manner. Like, and even still, if he disagreed on Palantir, I'd be willing to have that. His lack of wanting to do and have public discourse is why I'm losing respect, and so that is for me what the problem is. People want to put things behind a paywall. I get it. People need to make a living, and it's not easy, unless you've been super successful in the market. It's not easy to just go all on financial dependent on your own. And people do deep in-depth research and provide that ability. My problem is one, probably the quality as well that he's putting on this article doesn't deserve to be behind a paywall. But then two, forcing people to say, you're not behind the paywall, you're not having this comment in the comment section, so your comments are relevant is what upset me.
I get it, rightfully so. Check your WhatsApp, please. So, listen, I get it. I have a...
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. So, I have a problem with... And I agree. You want to put your research, if you're running a research firm or something like that, behind a paywall for clients, fine. But making a one-paragraph statement on X as a flywheel to your Substack, I don't know. I don't think you need to do that as somebody of his stature. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was really hoping he'd go on all in, or I'd hope he'd, but
listen, I'd love to talk to the guy because I've probably been the most critical person publicly about Palantir that was a perma bull. And I said, love the company. I think it's one of the best companies I've ever seen, but the valuation is expensive. And I've been on that train for a while. I'd love to have a genuine conversation with him about it. And we'll see. I mean, he obviously has an open invite anytime he wants. Happy to talk about it because there's probably things I agree with him, but there's also probably things I disagree with. And unless I read the article, I'm not going to know what those things are. I really don't want to pay $350 just to read a 10,000 word article that he wrote.
Yeah, and it's not worth it. I mean, you should play Switzerland, I think, in this case, and I think that's fine. I mean, there are some things that I think he put in his article that I actually agree with, like share-based compensation to an extent. But share-based compensation is an interesting topic, right? Because it's what has given Palantir this unique culture, and I'm trying to say this so that it doesn't get taken out of context, but the potential and use of share-based compensation, which has made so many Palantirians extremely wealthy, not because that was ever the goal, but because of believing in the company and aligning the incentives to long-term shareholder value. That is, it's a blessing and a curse. So anyway, so I agree. I think that's a very touchy subject. Am I with him? Yes. Am I, but at the same time, it's what causes the company to be the company and the success of the company to be what it is. So it's kind of tough to kind of point it out. I know I've pointed it out in the past. It's something that I wrestle with internally about SBC, but that was, something I agree with him. And in the actual physical valuation, I agree. It is expensive, but to make downright claims and then also say that you had 4 deployment engineers on, it's like, put their names in the paper, and no, the names are never mentioned. The higher ups that he talked to are never mentioned. So I could just write some stuff about neurology and just say, yeah, I talked to a random neurologist and he doesn't think it's actually science. There's no way to actually go and refute that. I would love the people that were anonymized in this article to step forward, and I'd love to have further chats and discussions with them to see what they saw, because everything that I've seen from using the software for going on 10 years at this point has been brilliant. And so that's part of the problem, is all these people that are writing these negative stories, they haven't used the software like I have for 10 years. And I'm no expert, and I don't use Foundry very religiously, but I've used it off and on, and I've seen as a user within one of the top 20 organizations that Palantir always quotes, I've seen how it's grown our potential business. So,
all right, let's move on from Burry.
yeah.
So I have a little bit of a rant to go on, and I made a full video about it that's dropping tomorrow morning, but I do want to discuss an idea with everybody. And so this has been my day today. Woke up, got my coffee, wrote an article, went on Alex's stream for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, did a bunch of research, shot a video that's going to come out tomorrow morning, started writing another article, then went to the gym. Now I'm here. So,
Steven,
in my research, and I've been coming up with this idea about flight to safety, and my goal has been to disprove that Walmart and Costco are flights to safety. And I think I figured out a way to do it that makes my point. And I want to show you 3 charts that I created. And I am now thinking that Amazon is such a value play that it deserves to be in the value index. And I think the street is wrong, or whatever, however we want to classify it. I think that the sentiment is wrong. Costco and Walmart are not flights to safety. Amazon is at these levels. And here's why.
Interesting conversation, by the way. I'm really excited about this.
Amazon is the red line on the right. Walmart is the blue line. Costco is the yellow line. And this is their annualized revenue from fiscal year 2016 through expected 2028. And in the trailing 12, because Costco reports on a non-calendar year, their fiscal year ends in the summer, I believe August, I think. Walmart reports, it's so weird. They end a couple of weeks into January. It's very weird. So Amazon's revenue is more than Walmart now. And it's more than Costco by a significant amount. And it's grown more. Now, here's the next slide. On a dollar basis, still same colors, red Amazon, blue Walmart, yellow Costco, okay? On an annualized basis, there has not been a year since 2017 where Walmart or Costco has grown their revenue by a larger dollar amount than Amazon. And from 2016 to the TTM, Costco grew by 131%, Walmart 44%, Amazon by 427%. And then on a expected level, from end of the 25 fiscal year, so 26 through 28, Amazon's expected to grow their revenue by 41%, Costco 25, Walmart 17.7. And you look at the dollar amount, Amazon's is double Walmart's, more than double. And then on the last slide that I'm going to show, because I don't want to spoil everything for the video, but you look at the growth rates. So Walmart has not grown revenue on a year-over-year basis by more than 6.73% since before 2017. Costco has not achieved double-digit year-over-year growth rates since the 2022 fiscal year. And going forward from 26 through 28, Walmart's average annualized year-over-year revenue growth rate is 5.44%. Costco's is 7.72%, and Amazon's is 12.1%. So my thesis on this is, how can we classify Walmart and Costco as flights to safety because people drive there to go get groceries and everybody has to eat and everybody needs to buy durable goods, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Why are we saying that their revenue is more sticky than Amazon's when I just showed that on a dollar basis, Amazon has grown their revenue more than Costco and Walmart every single year? They have significantly more revenue growth ahead. I'd argue, and I am arguing, that Amazon's revenue is more sticky than theirs. And it will be more sticky, and Amazon should be the flight to safety because nobody's getting rid of Prime. Amazon's going to be the first $1 trillion revenue company, and people are not stopping utilizing Amazon to go to one of those companies. And they don't have an advertising platform that is doing a run rate of roughly 80 billion in advertising revenue that's acting as a flywheel to fund the rest of the business. They also don't have an AWS. They also don't have the ability to pour in the amount of CapEx that Amazon does to fortify their business, get delivery times down to same day, make it frictionless. And when they do that, guess what they're doing? They're putting all their competitors in a position where they are now having to burn capital to even compete, and they're not able to at the same rate. So I'm going out right now and saying Amazon's the flight to safety. I'm halfway through my Seeking Alpha article. It should come out Monday or Tuesday.
I mean, this is part of the reason why I've been throwing money at Amazon, right? It's just like, if I were thinking, like, I'm not buying Amazon here because I think it's going to be a 20x, right? And it very well could be, maybe something happens or taking out pharmaceutical, CVS's, etc. I think Hims is fighting an upward battle, headwind battle against Amazon as well. But my thought process has always been, if you're going to store capital somewhere, it's like putting money in the S&P 500. It's going to continue to do extremely well. In fact, I think it's better than the S&P 500, which is why I'm putting money into Amazon. And so because of that reason, because of the reasons that you stated, the continued growth, the first $1 trillion company, this will be a $10 trillion company. And so to me, I use it as my flight to safety, right? I use it as where if I don't have an idea as to where I want to put money right now, I'm going to put it in Amazon. And same thing with my SPY. So I use them almost as like banks, right? Where I can store money until I have a better reason to do elsewhere. But for right now, I think Amazon is so cheap that it just doesn't make sense. So anybody that's sitting there, of course, do your own due diligence, but I'm with you. There's no reason why Walmart and Costco should be trading at a higher price to earnings multiple than Amazon. 150% agree with you, Steve. One is growing much faster. One has a higher moat, in my opinion. I find it very hard to believe that for any reason, Amazon should not be trading above a 30 PE. It just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. It's about perception, that people have a perception that Walmart and Costco's revenue is stickier, so they're willing to pay for it. But an individual's perception and reality are two different things. And this is not an opinion. This is facts. Okay? I'm going by the numbers. The data is the data. I swear I'm making merch, and that's going to be a shirt. The data is the data, because that is what I am going by. This is not my opinion. These are the facts. We can look at the past 10 years. All the numbers I'm using are the real numbers, okay? Amazon generates more revenue. They've grown at a quicker pace. They are projected to continue to grow at a quicker pace and add more revenue on an annualized basis. So if they're generating more revenue, if they're growing at a quicker pace, future expected, and continuously adding more revenue than both these companies for more than a decade on an annualized basis, how can you even argue that those two companies have stickier revenue? It doesn't make sense. It's an oxymoron.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's superstar in the chat. I really appreciate that note that, well, Matt, the good news is the market doesn't care how you feel. Well, this has brought a phenomenal amount of opportunity for me over the past 10 years as I've been an investor. The market didn't care about how I felt when Palantir was $6 and I was able to load up a shit ton, and now here we are north of $100 a share. The market didn't give a shit when I was buying Rocket Lab at $4. I thought the market was wrong at that point when I was buying Rocket Lab at $4. And then here we are. Same thing with a lot of other companies, right? Just like Google. Everyone was poo-pooing on Google back in 2024, 2025, and I was loading up in the low 100s. And here we are, Google above $300 a share. I anticipate that Amazon is going to experience the same moment and will blow past $325 a share at some point in the shorter term. I hope it doesn't, because I'd love to continue to add here. But eventually, Amazon's going to be $1,000 stock, regardless of whether or not the market agrees with if it's undervalued, overvalued, etc. The market will eventually give this target or give Amazon $1,000 stock price. At the time, maybe I think it should be trading at 1,200. Maybe I think it should be trading at 900. I don't know, but eventually the market will give this $1,000 stock price. You're on mute, my friend.
Damn it. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think it may be 10, 15 years, maybe 5 to 7. I don't know when it hits 1,000. But to think that Amazon isn't going to get bigger is kind of crazy, considering there's a handful of companies that can match their CapEx spend. And somebody had asked in the chat, what does Walmart spend on CapEx? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have it. This is why you get your packages same day in some areas from Amazon, because they just spent $132 billion on CapEx. Not all of that is cloud. A good amount is the logistical network. Walmart does a fraction of it with $25.7 billion. Costco, less than $6 billion. They're just not able to compete at scale. And when you think about the flywheel of them spending $200 billion and then probably more in 2027, they're only going to get these delivery times quicker, which is going to put a lot of pressure on their competitors and cause them to burn capital to try to compete. And when Amazon's able to increase their unit of economics on it, puts them at an advantage and everybody else at a disadvantage. And the likelihood of competitors coming out of the woodwork to compete with Amazon, you're not able to. It's just not possible. Like you and I say about pipelines, but it's applicable to this too. I don't believe you and I can raise money and try to out Amazon. Like, it's just not going to happen. The probability is so low that the only companies that could even try would be a Walmart, and they're not able to compete on the e-commerce. They're just not.
No, I 100% with you, Steve. And this isn't saying that I think Walmart's going to zero or anything like that.
No,
by no
it's
means
a
am I
great
saying that.
company.
It's a great company, and I think there's a time and place for it. Am I upset with Walmart? Yes, because they don't have 24/7 Walmart anymore, and sometimes it's 2 a.m. and I just want to walk around. I'm upset about that. I hear you. Steve hears me on that. So I'm not saying that, but I think that there's some possibility for efficiencies there. They've been historically high volume, lower margin sort of business. I'm an investor in Symbotic. I think Symbotic might help them with respect to getting their margins up a little bit. But at the same time, there's no reason why Walmart should be trading at a 35 times price to earnings multiple when they have when they have low to mid single digit revenue growth. It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe at best it's closer to 10%, but to me, I just don't see it.
So I want to read you just a couple of stats. Amazon delivered its fastest speeds ever for Prime members globally during 2025. In the US, they delivered nearly 70% more items same day than in 2024. And nearly 100 million customers used same-day delivery. Let that sink in. And then let this sink in. Same-day grocery delivery expanded to 2,300 plus U.S. cities and towns, while same-day pharmacy expanded to 3,000 plus. And here's the kicker. Rufus, its shopping assistant, was used by 300 plus million customers and contributed to 12 billion in incremental annualized sales last year. We are seeing Amazon's supply chain, its network optimization. We're seeing everything. We're seeing it reduce friction, improve economics. And as I said, this makes it harder for competitors to match service levels without burning through margin. And I just don't think that the others are going to win. And I think Amazon's going to be the winner. I think it's very undervalued here. I think it's the true flight to safety because if you're going to give that multiple on those companies, you should give a bigger multiple to Amazon because it can do everything that Walmart and Costco can and more because of AWS.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, so I want to give a point as well. I've utilized Walmart Plus. I get Walmart Plus for free through one of my credit cards. And so because of that, I also get Paramount for free through one of my credit cards. Stacking up benefits like I'm fundraising here, Steve.
Free is for me, man.
Yeah, free is for Steve. But the thing that bothers me is I've tried Walmart Plus before, and sometimes they just straight up just either take too long to deliver things, one, or two, they deliver it to the wrong house. I've never had an Amazon package delivered to the wrong house. Whether it's because sometimes I use it to like I sent chocolates and flowers to my sisters and my mom for Valentine's Day today. Never have I ever had an issue. I always get the text message, Matt, thank you for whatever, you know, and that's not why I do it. I do it because I want people to have chocolates and have a good time. But anyone that has probably used Walmart Plus before has probably had a poor success rate. There was times where for a while, because I'm not 100% on board yet with Amazon grocery delivery because they use Whole Foods and Whole Foods generally is more expensive. So sometimes when I just need some things, I'll order it from Walmart Plus because Walmart Plus, certain things are cheaper than for Amazon. But I've stopped using it because after having things delivered on a multitude of occasions to the wrong address and calling corporate to say, this is my address, why is it sending it to the wrong address? I'm not getting these things. Sometimes it was like $100 items, $200 items. Luckily, Walmart has a good policy where they refunded me. But what if they didn't? You know, what if I was out that $150? You know, like that. To me, it's interesting. Everybody else is able to get things to my house, no problem, except for Walmart Plus. And I recognize they use third-party contractors and things like that, but figure out a way to make that work. And I feel like Walmart might be back in the game. They might have an opportunity to kind of capture a market that Amazon is doing, but Amazon is doing it way better than anyone else at the moment for quick delivery. And until they fix that, you know, it's going to be tough.
Look, people are freaking out that Amazon's going to spend $200 billion in CapEx. Jeff Bezos did not build this company to issue dividends and buy back stock. His whole thesis is growing the company for the future. And I am sick and tired of everybody bitching and complaining about the $200 billion in CapEx. None of these people that are bitching and complaining work at Amazon. They have no affiliation with Amazon. It's an opinion. Amazon sees what the competitors are doing. They see their demand internally, and they have a forecasting model for what they need to do to not just fulfill the demand that they have, but to compete at a high scale. And if this is what they need to do as a shareholder, this is what I want them to do. So you know what? I'm buying more Amazon next week.
Somebody said Amazon delivery time is not that great either.
What are you talking about?
I ordered these glasses yesterday at like 8 p.m. I'm wearing them less than 24 hours later. Order glasses from anyone else.
Is so amazing. Anybody who lives in a big city, put in the chat, what type of trucks do you see the most in your area for delivery stuff? All I see is Amazon. That's all I say. I feel like I barely see UPS or FedEx trucks now.
Yeah. Yeah. And sorry to give everyone, so I know that probably some people trickled in. It's about half an hour into the podcast. One, appreciate everybody being here. It's phenomenal to be here with Steve on a Saturday night. Two, apologies for the interesting new look. These are blue light resistant glasses. I'm trying something different to see if they help out at all. Maybe they don't. They're a little the orange is a little tintier than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a little bit less tinty, but I definitely feel like it's saving my eyes a little bit. This, as you guys can see through the reflection, very white screens. I can't figure out a way to turn off some of the white screens sometimes. And I look at white screens at work. I look at white screens at home. Whether it sticks around, maybe it doesn't fit. Maybe it's not something that sticks around, but it was worth the $20 try to see if it helps.
I used to not use the dark mode. Now I use dark mode on everything, and it's freaking great.
They have dark mode for
PB,
StreamYard?
thank you very much.
Sorry.
Really appreciate it.
Do they have dark mode on StreamYard, Steve?
I believe so. Mine's on dark mode.
How you do this, Steve?
I believe it's in the settings, Matt.
I'm not smart like you, Steve.
I believe it's in. Is it in visual effects? Tevis showed me how to do it, or Tanner showed me how to do it.
All right, I'll look for it.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to look. Oh no, it's in. Go to settings. Go to general appearance. There's auto light and dark. Click dark.
What's settings where?
On the bottom where the Leaf Studio is, there's a little gear. Click that.
Yeah.
Click general.
There's no general for me.
Look down. You don't have general.
No, it just says camera, audio, visual effects, hotkeys.
Mine has a general gear right above camera.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you, PB, for gifting a membership. Really appreciate it. Elman, thank you very much. Happy Single Awareness Day. Well, Amazon, I think, is a great company. I don't know that many people would argue with that. And I just think that when we start talking about flights to safety and why the market's doing what it's doing, Amazon does not deserve to get hit. We are seeing the greatest companies sold off. And I think that this is going to correct. I think that this is an opportunity. I really do.
I'm going to rejoin in dark mode.
Oh, you're okay. So Matt is going to rejoin in dark mode. I think you figured it out. You good?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right.
I'm a failure, Steve. I don't know what else to tell you.
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
Turn on
I would not say that.
The people.
So Matt.
Yeah. What else? What else is going on?
What other companies are we looking at now?
Symbotic. I'm curious because we're talking about Walmart. Let's talk. Right. I know you've looked at Symbotic in the past. They had a good quarter. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you know anything about Symbotic? I thought I've told you about this move.
You did, but I don't know much.
Not a problem. Let me pull up. It's better explained. And shout out to the chat. There's some people like Julie Lawfi and a few others that were big into Symbotic before I was. Where is it here? Quarterly financials, investor. Shout out to those folks that were looking at this bad boy and we're ahead. I caught on later than I probably wanted to, and but at the end of the day, sometimes late is better than never. So let me zoom in a little bit. So to get people's eye into this, Symbotic is basically at its simplest form a warehouse robotics company that's trying to maximize efficiencies in warehouses. As you know, to move things around and e-commerce being a big piece of everything that we do these days, having that efficiency, maximizing things to the gills, volume and storage and merchandise being stored to the gills is probably the best thing that you can do to get your ops margins up. So that way you have way less drag in terms of operating expenditures for having more warehouses, and or you could lower the total amount of employees potentially and use those employees for things that robots can't necessarily do yet. So this is basically a simplest form and way to do it. Reimagine the supply chain with artificial intelligence or robots to transform the distribution network of any strategic asset. Basically, the problem that I have with this company, and I'll just get to the long story short, is one of two things. Dude, help me! I'm getting harassed by Michael Burry. I thought you got blocked, my guy. But the thing with Symbotic is its biggest customer is a blessing and a curse. So its biggest customer is Walmart, and because of that, obviously you have a merchandiser that is selling $500 billion worth of merchandise a year. But at the same time, if you lose Walmart, that's the biggest customer. So it's like almost an interesting piece because like most companies don't nail the biggest customer as their first customer. These guys have. And so that was part of the reason why I was kind of stair-stepping around it. You know, is it worthwhile the opportunity where they're starting with the biggest customer? That's obviously a large risk on or risk off material asset to them. But now they've started to get other folks into their supply chain, and they also have a joint venture with SoftBank. So here's some key things, particular for this particular quarter. So they have 57 systems in deployment, mostly at Walmart's. 51 are actually operational. 11 total customers. Once again, the largest one being Walmart. Walmart has stated they're going to have over 400 systems in deployment in the pipeline for them. They're now free cash flow positive. Their gross margins are expanding. They had 25% year-over-year growth, $22 billion worth of a backlog. And so the first piece that initially kind of got me interested was this in-house $32 billion TAM associated with, you know, reoccurring software sales and warehouses. Now you have micro fulfillments and one-time system, etc., that is really starting to help as well. And then you have the SoftBank opportunity as well. But this is kind of what the system looks like, right? Like here's the big warehouses, but you have all this intake associated with the Symbotic systems that allow you to maximize the shelf spacing. So if you think about it, if you just have smaller robots, instead of the massive forklifts being able to turn forklifts, you know, you're going to be able to get way more columns and rows in each individual warehouse than if you were to have human capability to go in and out with say forklift.
So I have a question.
Right? Yeah.
I'm looking at the system. I'm listening to what you're saying. The question that I have with this company is, what happens after they overhaul a warehouse? How do they make money from that asset?
They're serving the system. So they have the system, right? They don't just hand it over.
Okay, so basically you're buying the hardware and then paying a subscription model to run it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty much you're setting up your warehouse to look like this, and then also you kind of have the robots as a service at this point, and you're paying for the Symbotic robots to basically work on it. And the thing that's nice is like, because as you can see, there's like 3 modules here. You can keep your warehouse running and turn over your warehouse while you're building it out. So it's not like you have to shut down your entire warehouse, right? Which is a benefit, right? Because obviously that means no revenue. So you can do this one at a time. It's like, yes, you know, you can kind of move it in and help it grow over time rather than just starting from scratch, if that makes sense. Because think about how much time it's going to take to shut down a warehouse, how much lost revenue that is, and then completely converting it over. That obviously isn't bueno, right? So you can kind of do this over time, from what I'm understanding, if I'm understanding that correctly.
It's interesting.
It's an interesting one. I mean, this isn't different than what Amazon is doing, right? I mean, it's no different. Yeah. It's just differently done in different company.
Yeah. I don't like the numbers. I love the concept and the idea. I don't know that it should be a 33 billion market cap, but what do I know?
So I'm curious on your thoughts, right? I mean, I would love to.
I love the concept. I think this is the future. When I go through the numbers, and I'll go through the numbers in a sec. Let me just get to just a couple of things real quick. Ezzy, thank you very much. New Saturday Night Live. Appreciate it. Is Amit's Twitter beef a publicity stunt to promote the new pod? And will Burry be the next guest? I don't even know what you're talking
Dude, how
about.
crazy would that be if like you guys actually were like, by the way, like he's here.
In all seriousness, I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm gonna have to figure out what you're talking about. Do you know what what this person's talking
I think
about?
he's referring to like you guys hyping up the battle, or like hyping up the battle between Amit and Burry, and magically he shows up because you guys
in a
haven't.
battle with Burry?
Yeah, you haven't seen that.
No.
So after he woke up this morning and chose violence after I got blocked last night. So yes, that's what it was. And I guess he's referring to the fact that like other people are like, oh my God, because Amit, obviously he's bigger on X than he is on YouTube, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
And so people are like, oh my God, you have two Titans going against each other on X, right? Like, because Burry's got 1 million some followers and Amit's got 300K or whatever.
Well, I do want to show something, and I did not know that, so I only talked to Amit today via text, and we did not talk about that, so I will look into it. But check this out. Yeah. So Fetz, who's in the chat right now, is going out with Burry on X because Burry just responded to him 12 minutes ago. And here's what I don't like. So, okay, Fetz says to him, how much money did you make grifting Palantir for your 329 Substack? How much money, Burry? And he says, read it yourself. Proof. You click on it. And of course, my screen doesn't freaking update. And you would think it would be an unlocked version. Nope. Subscribe.
Gotta subscribe, Steve.
Gotta subscribe.
That's the problem. That's the problem I have, right? You want to have a public discourse, and granted, yes, Fetz, there's other things that Fetz has said, which I think are reasonable, but he doesn't respond to the valid points that Fetz or myself or anybody else. He only says, you have to go to my Substack. So unless you're writing these comments in his Substack, he doesn't give a flying fuck. And that's my problem.
Yeah, and he also, Fetz put out something on X. I'm going to listen to this later while I research what the hell Amit and Burry got into. But it looks like he put out
a good-looking guy.
He is. Put something out there, and Burry just responds with clickbait for his Substack. It's like
money grab, bro.
I don't get it. Just engage. And on one hand, all right, you don't have to. You've earned that right. You're a billionaire. I get it, but don't be on X posting all this stuff and blocking people. You want to come out with an opinion on X, you should be ready to defend it.
He's destroying his brand right now.
I agree. You got to be able to defend what you say. I have a problem with that.
I'm thankful for the engagement.
Breaking news, it's Steve's birthday. Thank you very much. It is not my birthday, but thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's a good point. I don't know when your birthday is. I got to find that out.
Did Steve order chicken parm tonight? I did not order chicken parm tonight. All right. Here are the numbers. We're going to go through it, and then we'll go through X, and we'll do a couple of other things. So SYM is the ticker, right?
Yes.
All right. And I feel like we've done this before. We're going to do it. We
didn't like it last quarter, and I'm curious if it helps this quarter.
So 33 billion market cap, big company. Did they not report their final fiscal year? Oh, they report on I hate when companies do that. All right. So 2.5 billion revenue. Cost of revenue is so much. Oh, and already I don't like it. Look at that gross profit. And I get it. The gross profit is growing with revenue, but so are the expenses. I mean, that is a very low margin business. So the question becomes, can they expand margin? I don't know enough about the business. Let's go on. Not crazy running the business compared to the cost of revenue. Never been profitable on a continuing operations. Never been profitable net income on an annualized basis. Let's change it to quarterly just to see what those numbers are, to see if I'm incorrect or not. So they just So they flipped profitability. I'm sorry, that was minority interest. Shit. Where's net income? There we go. So they flipped profitability in September 2024. They flipped it again in December. So they keep going back and forth. All right. Let's look at the free cash flow on a quarterly basis. Stock-based compensation, I mean, that's not horrible, but all right. Very good free cash flow. I don't mind that. Let's put back on annualized. So they're a free cash flow rich business, losing money because of income taxes, whatever else they have, depreciation, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I can live with this. Maybe they expand on the other side. I can't get behind paying the valuation. I mean, what is that, 50 times or so? 50, 60 times free cash flow for a company that's not profitable on a GAAP basis. Balance sheet, a lot of cash on hand.
But look how fast it's growing, Steve.
No, I get that. But the expenses are growing too, considerably.
Yes.
All right, so let's do this. I'm going to build something out because I can't do the math accurately in my head for what I want to do, but I do want to see this real quick. So they are expecting them to be profitable this year and grow very quickly over the next 2 years. So that's good. Revenue growth above 20%, that's also good. All right. My hang up on this would be the following. Let me get a new Google Sheet out. Symbotic. Okay. Let me clean this up and show you, Matt.
I'm ready for it, Steve.
It's not going to be pretty. It doesn't need to be pretty, though. What the fuck over?
Steven, language. Just kidding. For anybody that's listening, so while Steve gets us prepared, because I don't want to put Steve on the spot, but at the same time, I truly value Steve's opinion.
No, you can.
And birthday language. I am curious because Steve, and he's stated this publicly in previous podcasts, he sometimes can get hyper focused on the numbers themselves and maybe
100%.
be short-sighted about the future potential. And so I'm curious if I could bridge that gap with Steve, because I initially also looked at the numbers and had a allergic reaction, kind of like what Steve is having. But then I see the opportunity of they only have 57, which aren't fully operational, right? There's only 51 out of the several hundred that are probably going to be in operation, up and going. And so to me, I'm kind of curious as to long term, if you look at this, what's going to happen?
So their revenue is growing quicker than their cost of revenue. Okay?
Oh, Steven.
But it's still less than a 20% gross margin. Now, the question is, okay, they're growing. They are still somewhat a young business, very capital intensive. What can they get to? Can they grow this more? Because look, they're not growing their margin by a lot over an annualized basis. So the question becomes, they've been stuck in the 80 to 85% range for the past 4.5 years. Can they get this down to a 30 to 40% gross profit margin, or are they going to stay around 20%? I have no idea. I don't know the business. The problem that I have is if the cost of goods can't come down, you're leaving a very thin sliver for operating costs.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want to know if this is going to be able to get to that 30% range or a little more, only because it leaves such a hard time generating gap profitability that you can grow with that much coming out just on your first line of expenses.
Yes.
I just don't have the answer. I love the concept. Obviously, they're running a successful business, and I do get in the weeds too much sometimes with these numbers. But I also think there's other companies where the numbers look fantastic and they're undervalued that I just think are easier plays. I'm not necessarily looking for something to take a flyer on unless it's very compelling.
Mm-hmm. But you don't think that this potentially growing into all Walmart distribution centers and now growing into Albertsons, which is the second largest grocery store, which has yet to really start. And then also they have the largest grocery distributor, not the grocer, but distributor for groceries in their pocket as well, coupled with a new joint venture with SoftBank, which hasn't really hit the ground yet. To me, that leaves opportunity that I would rather be in front of, knowing that they are now net income positive. And likely there's going to be several catalysts be like this going through in the next 24 months. I would want to be slightly in before. And as I see those catalysts come through, either if they fail, Steve, I'm telling you, man. Anyway.
I mean, I'm pretty jealous, Michelle. Pretty damn jealous.
Tell us more.
Yeah, what type? We need to know what type of cookies.
We need to know.
What type of? Just say, just got some cookies in the oven. Like, we need details.
Maybe Michelle puts it behind the paywall, Steve. Maybe we have to comment.
You know what? Maybe she puts it behind a paywall.
Maybe she puts it behind a paywall.
Maybe.
Steve, did you even look at my thumbnail?
Did I look at your thumb? Matt, I was late.
I know, Steven. You were late.
I was late. No, I'm going to look at your thumbnail right now. Hold on.
It fits well with Michelle's delicious. Michelle's the best.
Oh my God. No, you didn't.
I thought it was okay.
That's
I
great.
wish you got to show the people.
Gotta show the people.
I was pretty upset that I would have chose a different milk container, but I think it works good enough.
That's awesome.
I think it was pretty good. What was it? I asked, I was like, can you replicate the Batman Begins when Gordon and Batman are on top looking at the light? And some other stuff, and that's what it came up with. So
I love it. Good job.
What was I gonna say? So I'm not with you. I'm not against you here, Steve. I think where I'm at though.
They are just some Pillsbury chocolate chip cookies. I was lazy baking today. All right.
I mean, I'm sure she made like several cakes either for today or tomorrow, considering it's Valentine's.
I am sure she had a lot of orders to fill.
And I think I'm getting. Ray still needs to message me. I think we're getting food tomorrow. Me and Ray.
Nice. Thank you very much, LMN. Chocolate chunk cookies is the king of cookies. I kind of agree.
Hopefully Michelle doesn't come and ruin our mandate, because I just want Ray to feed me.
You just want Ray to feed you?
Yeah, I just want him to baby bird me, and Michelle is just in the corner being upset because of our man love.
So I get it, Matt, with Symbotic, and I think it's from a story concept and where we're headed with automation, it makes a lot of sense, and it can probably do very well. Maybe this is something that I need to stop being as hard as I am being with the numbers.
I don't think so. I mean, to me, I wanted to enter 26 with a robotics play, and this is the one that kind of came to
Amazon, baby.
I mean, I have that, yeah, but but don't play poker with these on. Agreed, people. You definitely get a good reflection. So that was kind of my thought process around looking at Symbotic. I wanted a robotics play. If I had an opportunity to buy a cheaper private market robotics play, then maybe I wouldn't be focusing on Symbotic. And if, to be fair, if a private robotics company comes across my desk, I might utilize the funds from Symbotic to fund that. Right? I want a robotics play, but I think if anything, there's so much opportunity with warehouses across the entirety of the United States, and I think Amazon does a phenomenal job. But who's supplementing the other? I don't know what Amazon is in terms of total e-commerce, but who's supplementing the other half? And this was the big player on who's working with the other half to make sure that the warehouse robotics are on point. And so to me, if I'm bullish on Amazon because of how well organized and everything that their robotics are within their warehouses, why wouldn't I be bullish on something like Symbotic? Maybe it's not as good as what Amazon has. I'd actually be kind of curious to see. But overall, I think that warehouses and e-commerce aren't going away. And if anything, people are going to be continuing to look at how they can squeeze more margins out of their e-commerce businesses. And this is one piece of it.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. You know what? I'm going to ask some people that actually know a lot more about that stuff than me to look into it for me.
Who?
Let's see
How
what they have
can?
to say. No, I know some engineers. I'm going to have a look into it.
Steve knows a guy. I'd be curious as well. Like this is my, I didn't talk to any experts or anything like that. Just conversations with Gemini and myself, throwing ideas back and forth as to what I think the long-term potential value of the company might be. And to me, it looks like is it overpriced for what it is right now? Of course, but with what I see in play, I don't think there's a lot of downside from here. The stock could always get hit by 50%, but I'm not looking at total capital exposure losses. So that's kind of where I was with that.
Yeah, I get it. I'm gonna ask somebody to look into it for me.
Let me know, Steve.
I will let you know.
Steve, I have a cookie here myself. I got ready for the stream.
You know what, Matt? I'm jealous. What type of cookie?
I think they called it Snickers Chunk.
All right.
Double chocolate, which I'm not generally a fan of, but check this bad
Oh,
boy
that
out.
looks pretty delicious, actually.
So I had a Wendy's double burger, no bun, and chili for my one meal for the day because I was saving up the calories for this bad boy. So.
I like it. I like it. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Really happy that everybody's hanging out. June, TER, I have looked at it. I need to look at it again. Lena, you're never late. Oh, this is interesting. Matt, what oil company makes the most profits on crack spread?
Well, that's an interesting question, right? Because when you say oil company, I think upstream. There's a lot of midstream only companies or downstream only companies like Phillips 66 or Marathon Petroleum. So it's kind of a tough situation. And it also varies by what country you're in. Long story short, I have no idea. But I would just be cautious because there's so many different companies that might make that more beneficial or less. So just keep in mind, is it a pure play downstream company you're looking for? Is it something like an Exxon where you want an upstream and downstream, meaning you want the oil production and the refining as well? That's what I'd be curious about. But I liked one that I looked at in the past, and I can't say whether or not I'd put money into it right now, but when margins were really depressed last year, I was really looking at MPC, Marathon Petroleum, because these guys are adamant about buying back stock, and the margins were in the shit. And now that I anticipate margins have kind of rebounded, I wouldn't be surprised if MPC has kind of come around full circle. I'm actually kind of curious if my prediction came to truth on that. Let me see.
MPC is a great company.
Oh, I'm trying to remember when I was looking at Marathon last year, but I anticipate it was when margins were in the crapper, and I think it was around 140, 150 a share, so it's up around 200. But that would have been a potential long-term dividend play / share buyback play, because I think they spend a lot on buybacks. Yeah, if you're looking just US, I mean that rules out Shell, that rules out Total, that rules out other companies.
What do you think about the refiners here?
Honestly, I haven't done much research on downstream.
Okay.
And especially about spreads. Like, spreads were a big thing for me last year when I was looking at it because they were so historically bad. But honestly, I haven't kept up with it because I've been so hyper focused on LNG.
Okay.
It's not bad, Steve. Sorry, I'm eating a cookie for people that are listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So I'm starting to get some people on there, believe it or not. I just don't like chocolate on chocolate.
Sometimes it's too much.
Sometimes it's too rich. And I love richness, but I like the balance with like a vanilla, a peanut butter, and a chocolate, right? But chocolate on chocolate, man, it's too rich sometimes. It's really good, though. It's too rich for me. I am trying to steal your man, Michelle. Grant's a good dude. Great couple, man. Really love that guy. Those guys.
Great role models.
I got a good picture with them, Chris. Them meaning Ray and Michelle, Chris, chatting when we were in a Mitts apartment, just hanging out.
Well, I'm excited for the Texas meetup. I got to tell you that.
When's that?
It's sometime this year, he said.
Well, I was really excited for it last year when it was supposed to be sometime in 2025, but
said sometime this year.
Somebody asked me another question.
I got to tell you, I still think QXO is going to freaking go, man. And ENB is printing. Yes, it is. I've been on that.
You and I looked at it yesterday. It was insane.
What?
You and I looked at it yesterday. It was insane.
Yep. ENB is printing. What is this Obama interview that he's confirming aliens are real? They're real, but I haven't seen them. They're not being kept in Area 51.
They live amongst us, Steve. You might be one of them.
I mean, Derek, I am coming to the LA meetup. Yes.
It's going to be there with Michelle and Ray.
Michelle and Ray will be there. June will be there. There's going to be a bunch of people there. Dougie will be there, making sure that
the J-Bug.
Lena, I got more BMNR and Zeta this week. Full disclosure.
Steve, would you go to Miami?
Yeah, absolutely.
Miami was different than New York. New York was great, but Miami, the thing that was better about Miami is that it was everything was a little closer together, and then the event was the only thing that was far away. So, like, every night we would just be walking around in Brickell and just like causing mischief. We weren't actually causing any mischief, but we were just hanging around hanging out and learning and meeting up with people. It was just different. They were both phenomenal. Like, I wouldn't change anything about either, but Miami was just different. I think it was more of like a mod thing. Like, the mods were able to like hang out, and so it was just different. Like, they both were awesome, but
yeah, I know a lot of people in Miami, so yes, I would.
Oh,
what?
Just my guy. He's got a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I know a lot of people in Miami, so yes, I would go.
Yeah, there's a lot of us meeting up for the first time there. So
yeah, no, it's going to be good. I'm excited for the LA meetup. I'm excited for the Chicago meetup, the Texas meetup, a Miami meetup. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited that Matt bought BitMine.
Steven, we want
I'm
to get into that?
excited that Mr. Beast is starting a whole focus on kids and young adults for finance. I'm glad we have exposure to it.
Does baby oil make J&J an oil company? So many trolls in the chat, dude. I love that.
It's pretty funny, though.
That is pretty good. Does that make Diddy an oil man?
Spencer, what's going on? I didn't realize Spencer was here.
Spencer's always here. When is your next meetup? It's I think what, the last weekend of March for LA, right?
28th.
Where else do you want to go, Steve?
That's it. I don't know.
Miami, LA. How many a year do you think you'd want to do?
As many as I can fit in my schedule.
Steven, I like it.
I mean, I told him that we should do a Vegas meetup.
Vegas would be awesome. Well, the thing that I want Amit to do, and I've had this discussion as well, is there needs to be an annual one, right? So, like, how do I say this? Like, New York is great, but that's for the New Yorker, right? The people that may or may not be able to go, like, more out of the state, really, you know? And then same thing with the LA. But I want, like, I don't know if you call it QXO, like, whatever the fuck you want. But, like, there has to be a big headline annual that you do it every
Vegas
year.
is the only place you can do it.
I feel like Vegas or Miami.
So you could do it in Miami, I guess. But the thing about Vegas is there's so much conference space, so much hotel space. It would be easier to get the amount of space that you need. There's a lot of obviously there's a lot of restaurants and everything. So I just think Vegas makes the most sense for something like that.
He needs to do whatever he thinks is right, and I'm happy to help in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, Chef Mike is here. What's up, Chef Mike?
Hot Mike.
QXO. I was talking about QXO before. I actually thought you looked at it. It is
Looks like gonna take off. I thought it already took off.
Company from Brad Jacobs. It is let's put it this way. He built United Rental, United Waste, and XPO by acquiring more than 500 companies. He's using the same methodology in the building distribution sector. He bought Beacon Roofing for $12 billion. He just acquired another company. He's overhauling the back end. And he's looking to acquire more distribution companies, put them on the software, and become the number one building distribution company in America, targeting $50 billion in annualized revenue. And if you get to 50 billion on a one-time revenue, you probably still have like a 3x from here. I'm not sure where the market cap is. I think it's around 20 billion now or something like that.
Not enough, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I like those obscure picks.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. What else are you thinking about these days, Steve? You gonna double down in the SaaS names? I know you bought some, but now that it's been a day removed.
I'm scaling into Zeta right now.
Yeah,
I'm not really going to do anything next week except buy some Amazon. I want to see Zeta report, and look, if it shoots up, great. I'm not going to feel bad about not adding more here, but
that is bright.
The reason I don't want to add more than I did, I got my cost basis down to a good number. And look, if it goes down to 10, I can get my cost basis down a lot quicker than if I keep buying at 15, 50, 16.
Dude, Zeta at 10.
So
I'm not looking to add any positions, but if Zeta goes down to 10, I know enough where I'm adding.
Right. So
and that's my thing, guys.
This
is the thing, guys. Like, I want to make sure that I've been in a situation before where I've had too many positions where I can't follow along and listen to all of them, right? And that's my fear. Is like, it's like I'd rather have less positions and underperform, and know that I have control, than potentially be out of control and maybe make more money but not have the control over it. So that's part of it. But I'm honestly looking here at what positions. I have so few positions. Like, it's hard for me to be like, I'm going to trim and move money into Amazon from X because I already have. There are some things. There's like one or two things I could trim.
Did you listen to the All In podcast chat this week?
Which one? Is there two or is just the one? The Samoa individual one or the whole group one?
No, the group one.
No, I did not. I listened to Compound, but I didn't get to All In yet.
They're having some big event you can sign up to go to. It seems very interesting. You should listen to it.
I potentially might go. I was just starting to think, like, if I had a little bit more time, I might start attending some of these things to meet people and really grow that that network. So, like, I would love to go to the World Economic Forum, and I would love to go to Art Basel, and I would love to go to all these sorts of individual meetups to meet people and to make those connections. And yeah, I forgot to mention. So I know I was saying it was blue resistant for me. It was really blue resistant for you guys because my eyes are so blue. I just didn't want you guys to, get blinded.
Get lost in them? Get lost in them?
Yeah. But I'm looking at what I would potentially. I mean, if Venture Global, I like Venture Global, but if Venture Global did actually double or triple, I wouldn't mind trimming it. It's not like it's just so easy. It's one of those things where it's like I know it's going to be easy money now with how cheap it is, but it's not going to be one. I mean, it could 5x, but if it doubled or tripled from here, that's 60 to 70% of the value, right? And I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to wait for another 10 years. So I could see a place where Venture Global potentially goes to $25, $30 a share, maybe even more. Anyway.
No, listen, I get that.
It's like, do I really want to wait until it gets to 55 to trim?
Well, I'm waiting for NVIDIA and Zeta to report, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. But next week, I'm not really planning on doing much. I do want to get more Amazon under 200. I think it's a steal. If it keeps going down, great. I'll just buy more.
Steve, do you have an update for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to be around tomorrow. Maybe not early afternoon, but late afternoon or early evening I'm around. We can do it then.
I did some moves, so yeah.
All right, what time's Rocket Lab? We'll plan around it.
Or did we do it earlier this week? Did we do it on Sunday this past week?
I think we did.
Okay, yeah. So I did a move or two on Monday, on the 9th.
Hey, don't bring me into this Michael Burry stuff. He didn't block me. I haven't said anything to him.
Yeah, leave Steve's crystal clear reputation alone.
I'm not going to say anything unless I actually read the thing.
I think that's wise.
I just don't know what he's. Oh, Michelle. This is what dreams are made of.
This is what dreams are made of. Sorry.
This is what dreams are made of. Okay.
Where's Ray? The fucking Spider-Man person in the background, of course.
Love it. This is what dreams are made of. Love it.
Sometimes Pillsbury all you need. Steve, you know what I will say this with 100% conviction.
Okay.
There's better cakes out there. But you know what there's better cakes out there.
Then what? Like, well, you can't just say
I'm about to preface. I'm just prefacing. There's better cakes out there, right? I'm sure Michelle can make a better cake. You can definitely, but the $3 yellow cake Betty Crocker mix with the chocolate frosting, you can't get much more bang for buck. Okay,
All
that
right,
shit
can
is
I ask you
delicious.
something?
Yes.
Have you ever just bought the Betty Crocker icing and ate the icing?
No.
I have.
I mean, I don't blame you.
It's freaking amazing.
The vanilla or the chocolate?
The buttercream.
See, the buttercream is good. Well, if you're eating it on your own, I think that probably would be the play.
Like,
but if you're eating it with the cake,
no. Literally just taking a spoon and eating just the frosting.
You're a good man, Steve. That's all I gotta say. You're a good man.
See, this is why we love Michelle. I do that all the time. Love it.
Not on a spoon.
Love it.
She straight uses her phone. Burry's still trolling a bit, or is it different? Let's read through some of these. No, I don't want to get you involved.
I mean, we can read them.
Oh, Steve wants the drama.
What happened? Oh. All right. So I guess this is what happened.
What happened?
I'm showing. Hold on. All right. There are a million of you. The only way to read what I wrote is to subscribe. If you subscribe, you could take it up in the much more civil form very easily. Instead, you say you read what I wrote and then throw up arguments that have nothing to do with what I said. Same with GameStop. You did not read it, or you would not make the same data-free, source-free, diarrhea-of-the-mouth rant that you did with Palantir. What did Mitt say? You didn't respond to anything I said other than calling it a rant. How do you write 10,000 words on a topic? And then when the entire community that has been studying that topic for years actually responds, you have zero to say or just block everyone. I mean, Mitt's got a good fucking point there.
That's what I've been saying. I'm glad Amit and I are on the 100% the same page. You have problems with it? Fine. Overvaluation? Fine. But at the same time, you start like blocking people that actually have valid points.
I mean,
I wrote underneath that I'm trying one. Hold on. Go back, scroll up, Steve. It talks about Scott Bessent is like looking for fraud and stuff like that. Click on that particular
what, the video?
The post.
The post? This?
I want the I'm trying one. And then scroll down.
Okay.
No?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Palantir exposing fraud, I get it.
And I commented on this one as well, that it's like none of these people have used the software. So you can complain about valuation all you want.
Sure, I mean, I complain about valuation. I also understand the damn company. And I say
that one, go back to the third one. Go back to the third one. It's absolutely hysterical. The big push for ontology is to reduce the headcount. They're spending massive amount of resource remaking, blah, blah, blah. And I think this one is the one where he said it's not even that, or maybe it's the last one. There's one that basically is like, it's not even that hard. Other companies are going to be able to do it too. I think maybe it's the last one. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, pretty much that like anybody can do it. It's like, well, if anybody can do it, then why is Palantir getting involved in all these government contracts and everything around the world?
Okay. So he's saying that this is going to land back down at 50.
I hope it does. I hope he's right. Like I said, overvaluation is not the thing that I'm battling him on. I'm battling on his ethics. I'm battling him on him not wanting to have public discourse. That's my problem with Burry. I never was upset with him trying to short the company. I think in the long term, if you hold over 10 years, we know who's going to be right. In the short term, he's onto something, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, all companies, you could have done this on Microsoft. Microsoft peaked at the
I
same
don't
exact
know
time.
that this lands at 50, though. I mean,
Can you imagine if it does, though? Steven.
like 50 after that report would be crazy.
Because 50 would mean, so it's $2.5 billion, 2.5 billion shares outstanding. That's $125 billion market cap.
I don't think it's going to 50. We'll see.
It does. It does, Steve. I might mortgage the house.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't suck. Wouldn't suck. So let's do this. What questions does everybody have? Let's do.
Yeah, let's
go through the chat and just ask questions away. We'll try to answer as many as we can for like next 20 minutes or so.
Steve, thanks for having me on, man. I love you. You're good dude.
Thanks for coming.
I'm excited for you tomorrow. We won't say what about, but I'm excited for you.
I think the video is going to do well tomorrow. We'll see. It's interesting. I go on a rant.
Well, I meant the other thing that you're doing tomorrow. Yeah, what was it like to meet Josh Brown?
It was awesome. Like, no joke, the guy came in and he was the second that we started recording, we probably started recording within 2 minutes of him coming in. Same freaking person the whole time. Like, there's no switch that got flipped when the camera went on. Same person the second he walked into, the second he left. So genuine, awesome dude, class act. Can't say enough good things about that guy.
That's a good question. Do you think Schwab is a good investment thesis? I'm actually curious. I had this conversation with Tanner as well, and I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this, but Tanner used to be kind of in that, not Schwab particularly, but he used to be kind of in the money management business. And I'm venturing potentially to get into the money management business because I want to help people, right? My end goal is to always help people. And I'm sitting here at Schwab. I think Schwab is getting attacked because people are looking at AI and they think, oh, well, why would I potentially have my money at something like a Schwab if I can just do money management on my own? So I don't know. I'm curious to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so Schwab by the numbers is interesting. I need to look more at it, but you got to remember something. Schwab's a much different business because think about how many mutual funds and ETFs they have that they get a VIG on for management. They're one of the largest ETF and mutual fund companies. So to me, it's a very solid investment because of the amount of assets under management they have. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Lena, do you really think Zeta's going lower? I don't know. I hope it bottomed, but I wouldn't be mad. Look, if it blows earnings out of the water and still goes down, I wouldn't be mad because I would end up buying more. I think this company is in a really good position. I'm just waiting for earnings at this point. My favorite infrastructure plays, Vertiv was one. I still think it's going to do well. I like the pipelines. I'm not changing on that. I think Enbridge is awesome. I think it's going to keep going higher. Dan Ives was freaking awesome. Once again, same guy on and off camera, just genuine, awesome guy. You know, I don't think we could have got two better guests for the first two. Josh and Dan were they're both class acts. They're both awesome. Did I read the Barron's cover story about Dan Ives being a complete shill and a clown? This is what I'm going to say. Should I say it? I'm going to say it. So, nah. All right, I'm not going to say the first part, but I'm going to tell everybody what I said to Dan. Who gives a fuck? It's Barron's. Like, this isn't 1995 or 2000 or 2005. How many people actually go buy Barron's on Saturday? How many people are going to the Barron's website? I mean, I don't know. I don't read anything from Barron's. That's just me. I don't even read the Wall Street Journal.
Well, the thing, sorry, if you're done, I'll
no, I'm just saying, like, I don't get any information out of those things. Like, I'm sure they're going to write a hit piece about a lot of people.
They'll probably eventually write one about you, Steve.
I mean, have fun. Like, I don't care. Like, here's the thing about Dan Ives. Guy's the same guy he's been for 20, 30 years. It's not like this is his first rodeo. He was covering tech back before the freaking .com bubble. So what are you going to drudge up about the guy? That he's a permeable? Okay, cool. Markets continuously go up. I mean, I think the article was overdone and a little ridiculous. My own opinion.
Well, I agree. I mean, I think I'm glad that the second half, or maybe it was the last third, gave it a little bit more unbiased. It seemed like the first 2/3 or first half was extremely biased about making a point that basically there's a lot of conflict of interest with what Dan does at Wedbush, and I just don't think that I don't agree with a lot of it. I think it's classic.
They have a compliance department, like a legit compliance department.
100%.
If there was anything fishy being done, don't you think their compliance department would say to him, you can't do this, you can't do that? I am pretty sure he's got to run everything by compliance.
Oh, yeah. Any smart person does. And the thing is I thought it was very classless on Barron's part.
Same here.
And to be honest, it must have been a very slow news week, because it just seemed like they were just trying to stir up some sort of drama about a headline person to gather some sort of. So
look, they're
it
trying
seemed
to get
very classless. Yeah, it was very classless in my opinion. I always thought that Barron's was an old school name that gave out good old school DD. So to them go that route against somebody that I personally enjoy listening to, is it a little? Does he have a little bit potentially of an extreme bullish mindset? Sometimes I think he does. Sometimes, but there's been times where he's been right. So I value what Dan says. When Dan talks, I listen. Same thing with Tom Lee. Tom Lee's been wrong on things too, but when they talk, I listen, because I'm generally a bull at heart. Like, I generally can look through, and somebody mentioned, like, do I think 2026, do you think tech is dead? Even if it is dead for 2026, I don't give a shit about tech being dead for 26. I look at what's going to happen in the next 2035, 2040 beyond. So to me, I thought it was very classless on Barron's part. I'm happy and ecstatic that the last third or whatever of that article gave a little bit less bias and less attack, because the first half, it was just a joke. They saved face by that last half, but unfortunately, maybe not everyone's going to read that last half. And so to me, if you don't read that last piece of what he's talking about or what they're talking about in the article, then it's going to look like just a complete hit piece, which it was a hit piece. But if they didn't write that last half, I would write off Barron's entirely, because I just thought it was so one-sided and very it was obviously biased, and they were looking for clicks.
Look, what I said, I stand by. I'm not drunk. I don't drink. Look, I don't read Barron's. I don't read the Wall Street Journal. That's not where I get my information from. I do my own due diligence.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
How about this? Judge the guy on what he recommends. Judge the guy on, does he have a winning ratio? Period. I would argue that he's got a pretty damn good ratio over the years.
Maybe I'm biased. Maybe he's a Penn Stater. I'm a Penn Stater.
But I mean, think about it. How many people were bullish on Palantir at 20?
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. I was there. Wasn't easy.
Right? Oh, yeah. People tell me Palantir was in 20s. Bitcoin was below, 30,000. People thought I was an idiot.
And I'm not saying Barron's is incredible. I'm saying that was a hit piece that was bullshit. Period.
Which I am an idiot, but not for those reasons.
Like, I think that article was a hit piece that was bullshit. My own opinion. I'm allowed to have my own opinion. I don't read Barron's, so I don't know what else they put in there these days. Maybe a great publication. I don't know. I don't think it's really relevant anymore. That's just my take. I don't follow S&P Global or Moody's, so I can't give you any information on that.
The thing that I listen to on Moody's is I look at them only strictly because they give credit rating. And for a lot of the companies that I invest in, Venture Global, Next Decade, they are very reliant upon refinancing debt. And it's something I'm learning more as I get more in depth with investing in companies and cash flows, etc. That is a big piece of how your company is perceived. Is it investable? Is it not? And I've also looked at some private deals off, not for my personal investment, but because I work in where I work. I've looked at ratings on certain companies to be like, is this something that we want to potentially get involved in? Or partner with these people based off of their current credit rating. So that's the only reason why I look at Moody's, not really for their, buy this stock versus buy that, but really their credit rating and how they analyze risk and uncertainty, because that is where it comes into their credit ratings. And so that's what I value them for. Other than that, I don't really read Moody's other than on particular company upgrades or downgrades, depending on companies that I'm interested in on credit ratings.
Yeah, Superstar, we don't block people around here. Though I've only asked for one person to be blocked since I started the YouTube channel, and it was somebody who went after SoFi and Chris Hager for them hiring him. So that's the only person I've ever asked to be blocked. Other than that, I mean, I may have even blocked that person myself. Other than that, I'm not about blocking people. I'm happy to have a full-blown conversation about anything, pretty much. But you go after one of my friends, you're getting blocked.
The only thing I ever block people over is if I'm all for discourse on stocks and stuff like that, but people just being malicious for the fact of being malicious, I'll block them. I don't really care.
And honestly, I don't even pay attention if the mods block people. I trust their judgment. That's why they're mods.
Yeah, I do too.
Any opinion on Apple? Yeah, I like Apple. I think it's a little overvalued here. That's why I have it at neutral.
People are like,
I think Apple's going to do really well. What?
People are like, have I been blocked? Am I blocked?
I think Apple's going to do really well. They have a 2 billion install base. I mean, you got to think that we're going to have wearables. Apple's going to be a player, so I like them. I just like other names right now.
Got 50-50 stocks Pokemon. I'll tell you what, stocks ain't winning recently. How has Pokemon been? I haven't bought the last box. Is it good? A lot of hype, or is it in the gutter?
Ascendant Heroes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be good. There's a lot of good hits in it, but it's expensive and hard to get.
Is it?
It's worth buying though.
All right, I'll see. There's another new box? Fuck. There's
one coming out in March, I think.
That's the problem. Is like you turn your head for a month and you're out. Out of date.
How many people did Burry block? And Ezzy, I saw your question. I'm not disclosing who the next guest is. That's why I just wasn't saying anything. Yes, you did tell me to buy Bloom Energy when it was 25. You absolutely did. Look, I didn't see it. I miss things.
How are
It
you muted?
happened.
You're talking right now.
I miss things.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I get it, and I've had this problem in the past with people that have like live stream. It's just like you have to realize, like, not everybody. Like Steve has so many stocks he wants to add to right now that he's already researched, right? So it's difficult. Like people mentioned Bloom Energy to me as well, and it's like I get it, but you can't be in everything, you know. If I invested in everything there, but I wouldn't have any money to invest in my own stocks, then you guys wouldn't even listen to me, right? Like because I wouldn't have my own opinions of my own. So I'm never going to be 100% right, and there will always be things that I miss, but you can't invest in everything. No, you're not muted. So
Wow.
what, Steven?
I'm going to show it. I mean, things may be getting heated tomorrow. I can tell you that. I may go spend the money and read the damn thing now. Not going to get involved in this Michael Burry versus Mitt Palantir dispute, other than say one of these guys sells nothing and asks for nothing from anyone. Just a good guy who reports. The other says you must subscribe, pay to find out. Remember, controversy sells, and he's selling something. I mean, I said my piece before. I have a. You come out with some public statements like this, and you just tell people to read your thing, but they can't read because it's behind a paywall. I got a problem with that. Make this one article free, Barry, please, or for a day, so we can actually freaking read it and see what the hell you wrote. I'll read all 10,000 words.
Yeah. What I will say is that, and I said this to Mitt earlier. I won't say what he said back, but it's not my place. But I mentioned him, and I think in the mod chat as well. I was like, I hate seeing the Mitt hate on X because I think there's just a subset of people that are out of jealousy that are trying to tear his brand down. But I have after interacting with the gentleman for quite some time at this point, he is always about his business. He's always about trying to help people. So for anybody to sit there and be like, it's insane. Some of the things that I've seen about that are so completely untrue. It's very frustrating, but I know at the end of the day, he will persevere because of who he is and continue to do really well. But it's just upsetting to see people that you know personally. And I guess this is just part about being in business and putting yourself in social media out there is some people are just not kind-hearted and or they let their emotions take over reason. And they just decide to put inappropriate or incorrect things, not inappropriate as in like, but more incorrect things to try to tear down somebody's brand. But they themselves aren't willing or faceless, right? I see a lot of faceless X posts, people that won't put their own name out there.
Right.
And it's just like, and people give me crap all the time because I call myself MattMoney. It's like, my name's right there. Like if people want to research who I am, look me up on LinkedIn, whatever, they can go ahead and do it. I'm not hiding from anything. So I find it's always very funny when people point the finger, and I never really liked this term. I always thought it was kind of stupid when you point the finger, 3 fingers point back to you, but it's kind of the same, right? In this respect, it's like you're trying to place blame on and calling somebody else out for doing something inappropriate because you hope that it deflects how you feel inside, and your insecurities and everything like that. And I see a lot of that going on, and this is very sad to see people piling on Burry's side, not because of what he said or in belief in what he said, but because it's Burry versus Mitt or Burry versus me or Burry versus, they use this as an opportunity to try to continue to do something because they don't have the power on their own to do it, which is pretty sad. But it comes with the territory. At the end of the day, I know who's going to win, so it's kind of tough to kind of sit there and I've already seen it happen to several people with not just this recent pullback we're seeing in January, February, but the pullback that we had in November, December, the pullback we had in April last year. We see all these accounts, talking a big game, etc. They just kind of disappear. And it's like, I wonder why. Because there's not money to be made in this. Like, there's very little money for the amount of effort. Like, there's very little money to be made in this. It's almost a passion. If you didn't have a passion for it, you're going to fall by the wayside, which is why I think you see so many YouTubers go into the dust. You see so many people on X that were influencers go into the dust because there's not a lot of maybe money. I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years, and this will probably be my 6th or 7th year of streaming rather regularly, and I make less than $10,000 a year across everything. In fact, last year I probably made less than $4,000 overall, to which I spent on going to Miami, on which I spent going to Rocket Lab to go to the events. It's a cash flow negative venture for me. And I do it because I get to meet individuals like yourself, and I get to, do and make myself a better investor and a better person and a better all around informed individual. And if I did it for the money, like a lot of these other people, then I probably would have stopped doing YouTube many, many years ago. And same thing with X.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say to close out this little thing is Amit is one of the most stand-up people I've ever met. I've met a lot of people, and, that's all I'm going to say. He's an amazing person. So we'll leave that at that. I am considering reading the Burry thing. Against my better judgment, I'm thinking about buying it just to read it at this point. I kind of want to comment on it, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway.
Steve and I met through Amit.
Anyway. Let's see.
And yes, my 24/7 streaming channel is still live. There's more things I want to do with that. If you guys are interested, the link is in my description. I'll post it in Steve's as well.
Yeah, QXO is going to be, I think, big. I like QXO a lot. The last acquisition is a stepping stone. Brad Jacobs has done more than 500 M&A deals in his career. That is how he's building this company. Let's see. Real question to the audience. Are most retired who simply watch from work during the day? Seems a lot watch live during the work day. I'm not retired. Cheryl, what's going on? It was a pleasure meeting you at the meetup. Looking forward to seeing you again in LA. Have you researched MongoDB? No. That's one of the ones that I looked at a while ago, and the numbers didn't make sense. I was in Palantir, so I didn't understand their business versus a Datadog or a Snowflake, so I just stopped looking at it, and I just stuck with Palantir. If they stopped making Entenmann's coffee cake, that's a crime.
Did they really?
Entenmann's coffee cake's amazing.
It is so good.
So good. By the way, their chocolate chip cookies are legit.
Entenmann's?
Yeah.
Those are the really soft ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They're legit.
Can I just say, I think it's an old pastime, Steve, and I feel like your family probably grew up with this, so you probably miss it as well. Stopping by somebody's house with an Entenmann's and just having an afternoon coffee.
Love it. Love it.
I mean, I want that pastime back.
Oh, if you live closer, I would bring it by.
Like, hey, we're gonna go. Well, you can you can sit next to me while I smoke a cigar and eat some coffee cake and have a coffee. That's my next venture. The next house that I buy, I want to be able to have a cigar room in it, ventilation. There's so many times during the day where I'm just sitting here and I just wish I was smoking a cigar.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do that, you better call like ABM or somebody and have them do full filtration system with MERV filters and everything.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did not get the Charizard back from PSA. I probably won't have it back for a couple of months. PSA is up to 95 days turnaround time.
Yeah, Steve did go to the gym. He's better than me. Steve's been killing it. What's 5 out of 7 days, Steve?
I've got 5 out of the past 6 days.
Champion.
Trying to get back into somewhat shape.
You're doing a good job, man.
Let's see. Let's see. The only thing I say about Pokemon is it's outpaced the S&P 500. So I was on Alex's stream today, Nostalgianomics. We talked about it for like an hour and a half or so. It was a good stream. Let's see.
Huh, my cookie's gone. Y'all acting like I didn't eat that. I was eating it on stream. Y'all you could have seen me do it.
Matt, what are your favorite cookies? The people want to know.
Let me think. I don't eat cookies nearly as much as I used to because obviously for the past 9 months or so, I've been really trying to cut back.
While you're thinking, now that's heroic. You have 1,000 cards at PSA. 1,000. I thought freaking the Judge Collector was bad. Bad breaks. Are you a breaker? Are you a reseller or just personal collection? That's a lot of freaking cards to have at PSA. You got to be some type of vendor or something.
That is a lot.
It's 25 grand worth of cards, just grading fees.
I don't know. Tell you when I was a cookie monster, Steve, was when you were getting me on that Levain's.
Oh yeah.
What was that Brooklyn bakery you made me order from?
Oh, Fortunato Brothers.
Yeah, that was good too. I think I still have those in the freezer. They might be expired at this point. Those rainbow cookies were good.
Those rainbow cookies were good.
I don't know. If it was just like an everyday cookie, I'm a big fan of the white chocolate macadamia nut from who's the people that sell them in like the 8-packs, the white bags. They have like the Milanos too. I forget.
Pepperidge Farm.
Pepperidge Farm.
Yep. They make legit cookies.
They're not bad.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the something that I really enjoy now that I'm a little older is a good biscotti.
Biscotti's legit.
Biscotti's legit.
Yeah. I looked into Hims. I thought it was getting inexpensive, and then all this shit happened, and I'm no longer looking at Hims.
AXT. What's AXT, Steve?
I'm not even sure. Oh, Chef Mike. That does not surprise me, but rainbow cookies are so legit. Oh my God. So legit.
Girl Scout, I can send you my link.
AXTI. Let's see. What the hell is this? AXT Inc. I've never heard of this company before. 1.3 billion valuation, 90 million revenue. I'm not going to be able to help you with anything. I know nothing about these small caps. I'd have to look into the business.
Would you want a
I don't
legit
know.
cookie sponsor? I'll take any sponsor that I actually think and I can align with. Like I got a sponsorship the other day, big name, but I was just like, I don't use the product, and I would hate to put my name next to something that I don't actually use. Big name though, and I'm sure they're willing to put money into it, but I don't know. Like I said, I've tried that route before. You know, I've tried going down the small gold, silver, like bring them on the channel, talk to the CEO stuff, and it, unfortunately, even though I don't think that people will just blindly buy things, unfortunately, people just blindly buy things because they're on the channel. And I thought it was more of like a CNBC, right? Bring them on, interview the CEO, you know, and people would just blindly buy it just because it's on the channel. And that's just when I found that out. I didn't feel right. So same thing with having a sponsor on the channel. If I only want to put my name.
Best type of Girl Scout cookie. What do you think, Matt? I already know which one I'm going with.
I mean, I like the caramel delights or the peanut butter sandwiches.
So my top used to be a frozen Thin Mint until I started eating the Samoas. Oh my God.
Samoas are the caramel guys?
They're the hold on. Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah,
I don't want to meet the Girl Scouts. I want the damn cookie page. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be hustled by a 4-year-old. So
I mean, I'm a sucker for
like, sir, can you buy another one? I'm like, Jesus, like, what am I gonna do? Like, make this little girl's life because she sold an extra couple boxes, or
I am so bad with that stuff.
well, it's like, what is it? It's like $5. You make their day. Like, it's tough. Like,
No, I'm just saying, like I buy for my friends, I buy a bunch of them.
oh yeah, I know.
Okay, I went to buy Girl Scout cookies, but I can't see all the different flavors. Like, what the hell?
Oh, this is America.
Like, I want to know the different flavors. How don't they have pictures of this stuff? Here we go. All right.
They go door to door in your neighborhood. That's savage.
That is savage.
Good for them, though. I'm glad that they're building that skill because
the caramel
Venturefuls
are freaking great. They are
Samoas, then.
Those are legit. Why are they not on here? Yeah, there's Samoas.
The caramel delights?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then
I've never seen this. Is this new?
Which one?
Venturefuls?
Yeah, I was about to say I never seen that.
Never seen that.
And I was gonna say it's tough, man. I could do the tag-alongs all day.
Dude,
Peanut
the
butter patties
are really good too.
Really? I've never had it.
They're good. Girl Scout cookies are like crack.
Pretty good. The girl who sold 81,000.
Would you guys want a legit cookie sponsor? I mean, I'm not looking to take sponsorships. And I kind of feel like what Matt said, like I wouldn't just take one if I didn't like the product. Like you see me take a cookie sponsorship, like that means I actually eat their freaking cookies.
Like I would love a Celsius sponsorship or like
I'm not against it, but I wouldn't just do it just to do it.
What does this Matt guy think he is now?
Oh, that's interesting. Look, Sir Charles, it's same thing I said last night and the night after. I think it's ServiceNow and Salesforce. Those are the two that I'm buying. I think if you want to consider Microsoft a SaaS company, which I don't, that also. Let's see. Yes, Chef Mike, I agree. The Samoas are legit addicting. Yeah, Oreos are like crack. Why is that? And is Oreo Milk's favorite cookie? Yeah, a lot of people liking the Samoas and the Thin Mints. I'm with it. I am freaking with it. Let's say I agree. You cannot stop in one cookie. It just doesn't happen. Look at this guy sneaking up on us.
Steve, is this true?
Tevis. Tevis, why aren't you out and about?
I thought Tevis would be yeah, I thought Tevis would be on a date or something.
I don't think anybody eats one cookie.
Have I met John McAfee? No. Isn't he dead? I thought John McAfee was dead.
I don't know. I think he's alive.
What?
I don't know.
He's alive in Central America deciding?
Who knows? What do I know?
Steve, what happens with ET if Dems win midterms?
I mean, I don't know that we can say that it's going down because it did pretty well with them in charge. So
this is my thought. Whoever is going to be the largest natural gas, not LNG, whoever has the best access from wherever gas fields, I mean the Appalachia, Haynesville, Permian, who else has a lot of natural gas? I guess there's some natural gas in Utah, Colorado as well. Whoever has the best access from that to the Gulf Coast, I think will continue to do extremely well. I think oil production is within 1 million or 2 of its peak here in the United States. We might see another 500,000 to 1 million barrels a day coming out of the Permian, but going north of 6.5 million barrels a day, I think is just very tough logistically. You're going to have a lot of productivity competition, and you're going to have a lot of just reduction in productivity, which we've already seen, I believe, in the Permian. I think people are starting to see that. You're starting to see people write down based off of future productivity guidances that they've given in the past. So no longer, I think there was a large step up and increase from, the past 10 years to late 23, 24, maybe even into early 25 of productivity gains that people have been able to get with increasing lateral length, increasing stages in individual, increasing the total number of actual frac sand per foot of total frac length, etc. Or total completion length, not frac length, total completion length. And I think now you're starting to see that no matter what, there's just been so much development in the Permian that it's difficult to kind of keep that oil production going. And I don't think we have the next play fully understood. So am I saying we're peaking on the Permian? No, but I would say by the end of 27, early 28, I wouldn't be surprised if the Permian comes off a plateau. And it'll be tough to kind of continue in that realm because of productivity declines. And then with the amount of export that we're seeing in the United States from US LNG, I think you're going to have a lot of facilities coming online in 27, 28, 29 that is going to send that gas globally, and it's going to increase the prices in the United States, which is beneficial for the upstream operators in the United States. So you're going to have a further increase of one, because AI needs power. So you're going to have these peaker plants coming online from natural gas, coupled with the fact that you're exporting so much more gas. That's going to put a floor on natural gas prices here in the United States. And if you get above $4, $5, $6 consistently in the United States for Henry Hub gas, that unlocks a lot of inventory that has been in the backlog for a lot of companies in the Haynesville, Appalachias, Utica, So to me, I think that anybody that has an expansive amount of natural gas pipelines in their portfolio will do well if that plays out. Now, there could always be a scenario where
There's
natural gas
three main
prices.
ones:
What's that?
Energy
And
Transfer, Kinder Morgan, Enbridge. Well, I guess Enterprise Products you can put in there too.
but they're all hyper focused on um, natural gas, or are they I forget. We took
Kinder Morgan and Energy Transfer have the most natural gas pipelines, I believe. Kinder Morgan's like 76,000 miles of just natural gas pipeline. I think Energy Transfer is like 60,000 or something like that.
There you go. You don't know what I do. I work in oil and gas. That's all you need to know.
Matt actually knows his shit when it comes to oil and gas. Let's leave it at that.
If you guys are interested, you can search for me on the internet.
Can we end on something?
I never want to end with you, Steve. It's always a blast being
neither do I, but I need to end the stream in a little bit. This makes me so annoyed.
What's that, Steve?
I kind of want to go on a rant. Drowning in 1.65 million in student loans, accepted a job with $250K base and up to $50K bonus. Orthodontist, went to Pepperdine for undergrad, 4.5 years. NYU for dental school, Roseman for ortho residency. And now this person is considering this all unfortunate choices due to how crazy the costs are. $1.65 million in student loans. How is that even possible? How? How much is Pepperdine a year?
I don't know.
And
but how many years of school is that? That's what, 16 years?
No, it can't be. 4.5 for undergrad. Dental school is what, 4 or 5 years?
12 years?
Probably, yeah, 10 to 12. I'd like to bump up my earnings by being an owner, but banks have mentioned that my debt is too high to loan more for an orthodontic practice. My standard payment over 10 years is just under $20K a month. How do you even live your life? Think about that for a sec. $20K a month? That cannot be on the 1.65. That's got to be if they wanted to borrow for a practice, because $20K a month, you're not taking home $20K a month on 250 base. $20K a month is $240K a year. You pay taxes on 250. Here's the problem. We need orthodontists. We need dentists. We need doctors. This is crazy. You're going to make people not want to become medical professionals. This is bullshit. Now, once again, I have no idea if this is the route. I'm obviously not a dentist. I just see stuff like this and I'm like, how the hell did they get to 1.65? Was it 800 and you didn't pay and then you had interest accrue? I don't know. Now, here it does say, I really racked up interest even during the 0% COVID years. Interest accrual is really what got me jacked up into this. So I'd like more information on this scenario to understand it. And maybe it was nowhere near this and they just didn't do what they needed to do and ended up in this situation. But either way, the entire student loan business needs to be overhauled.
Not just I don't think it's. I see what you're saying. The whole student loan business needs to be overhauled, but I really think it's this unfortunate event that I think everyone believes they need to go to college. So if I told you the amount of people, and granted, who was it? I think it was me and Doug. I don't think Doug would mind me saying this, but we had lunch the other day. Actually, it was probably a month or two ago, and we were going through all the majors that you could choose from a local university here in Houston. And it was astonishing to me how many extracurricular sort of majors that people can choose without actually being able to benefit the United States in any sort of way before. So a lot of those degrees led to your best option out of college with those degrees is to become a professor in that degree, right? So like you couldn't necessarily take a, I don't know, arts history degree and, take that and apply unless you become a very select one of a million sort of art history major that allows you to hyper focus on high net worth individuals that are looking for, particular artistry that might be coming up in value, etc. The likelihood is that you're going to go and potentially become a teacher or a professor. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but you have these people going to these elite colleges to study art history, spending $50,000 to $100,000 a year to get this degree, to which it doesn't make sense on the other end. Now, if you're going to school for some sort of engineering, manufacturing focused sort of engineering, mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, you're likely to get an opportunity coming out of college that pays rather well. And so it's this cost benefit analysis as well. Like there's a lot of local schools that you don't need to pay $20,000, $30,000 a year, but people want to go because of the experience. And so when you go to you're paying for an experience, you're likely to end up, paying for that. Right? Like I went to Penn State. Fortunately, maybe, take this with a grain of salt. I was fortunate. One of the greatest gifts my parents ever gave me was to pay for my school. But I didn't fuck around. I graduated in 4 years. I took extra. I switched majors. That maybe they were like, you're probably gonna have to go 5.5 years. I said, absolutely not. I worked and did like 20. Sometimes I did over 20 credit hours, which is like 1 or 2 additional classes needed to be able to graduate in time. And I was just fortunate that they gave me that gift. And look how I've been able to kind of build on top of that, right? I've been able to hyper focus on a good career and get my feet under me and be able to save a lot of money. But I think so many people enter and they choose the wrong degree. They screw around. Some of them, I know a lot of people that didn't fortunately finish, and that actually ended up probably being a benefit to them because they probably would have ended up being what they ended up being anyway, even if they did finish whatever degree. And they probably would have racked up another $40,000, $50,000 worth of debt. So to me, I think there's this lack of conversation about money in households growing up that I think is really the problem. And this American debt overall crisis within America. Obviously, we have the federal debt, we have personal debt, but I think it's this lack of education. And I don't agree 100% with what Dave Ramsey says, but he has a point in a lot of what he says. And it's almost like I think a lot of people need that extremism of what Dave Ramsey talks about, because otherwise people do exactly what this woman said. And I don't know the whole situation, so it's tough to comment specifically on what this woman said. But what I can basically gather is people put it out of mind and they say, I'll kick the can down the road. And next thing you know, 20 years down the road, it is not able to be put out of mind anymore. The chickens come to roost and eventually you're going to have to start paying it. So I don't know.
Dookie Pie, thank you very much. I will definitely get some milk. Going to get some tomorrow, actually.
Oh.
All right. Matt, I think we're going to call it.
Steve, you're a good man.
We will be on tomorrow at some point, everybody. Matt and I will get a time and do the small portfolio update.
I think if my time, Steve, is probably from 5 to 6 Eastern, where I'll be doing Rocket Lab Weekly. So before or after that?
Well, there's no market futures show from Amit because the market is not open on Monday. So let me see what I'm doing tomorrow. Let me see what time I think I'm going to be home. Definitely after, maybe before.
I appreciate everybody. I'm on the reward path to 20K. So I'm almost.
Let's get Matty there. Go subscribe to Matt.
Almost within 400 people of 20K on YouTube. Appreciate you all. And it's been a blast. I always love coming to hang out with you guys. So thank you, boss lady. Much appreciated.
Chels is
The real question
awesome.
is, when are we going to meet? I think Chels is the only mod now that I like haven't met. And Midwest. I haven't met Midwest in person.
Chels said she's going to be at the Chicago meetup.
Good. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't have anything planned during that time. And I think he said it was going to be May-ish, maybe.
Yeah, end of May, last weekend in May. Chels said she's going to be there.
Dookie Pie, thank you so much, my man. Much appreciated for becoming a member.
I think Spencer's going to be at that one also.
We did meet in Miami. That's true. Can't believe I forgot about that.
So Spencer and Chels are going to be both there.
That's right. We did meet in Miami.
All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the night. Enjoy the rest of Valentine's Day. We'll be back at you tomorrow. And I have a video coming out in the morning where I just rant. Probably find it interesting. Matt's got Rocket Lab Weekly tomorrow.
Likely.
And we'll go from there.
And to answer that gentleman's question in the chat, no, I'm not afraid of a recession. I personally would welcome it, but I recognize not everyone will. I personally am looking towards 10 years down the road. I think a recession would bring great prices and would personally welcome it.
Oh, my God. I got to hit the sheets. I'm exhausted.
You're the man.
All right,
Steve.
everyone. Not calling him it. I'll speak to him tomorrow.
Trump is live.
Trump is All right, everyone. Have a great night. Over and out.
Cheers.